Hi, I'm Sherry Lewin with Thrive Clermont. We want to give a big thank you to the entrepreneurs who served as volunteer instructors in our Fall Adulting series. We've edited this down by speaker, and we hope you enjoy.
I'm Rocky Destefano from the Chick-Fil-A's here in Clermont. A lot like Kimberly, I feel like most entrepreneurs have always been entrepreneurs, and I've always done things, created businesses, even from when I was really young. In college, it looked like I kind of set up and had concerts, basically, music and so forth. That was kind of how I lived out my desire to be an entrepreneur in college. I started at Chick-Fil-A, though, when I was in high school. It was just a part-time job, and I maintained that all through high school and college. And then when I went to law school, but as I was finishing up law school, I realized that while I liked law, it wasn't going to feed my spirit of wanting to be an entrepreneur the way that other things did. So I decided to go with Chick-fil-A, and it's worked out well, although it's definitely been some struggles. My first year, we did around $520,000 in sales. And there were a lot of lean years, a lot of years where I wondered what I was doing and why I was doing it. But in the end, it's worked out really well. Personally, I feel like the hardest thing for me is, growing from a staff that at first was 10 people and 20 people, and now is somewhere around 250, is understanding that you're the leader. And even though you don't know what you're doing most days, like literally this whole year has been, I don't know what to do. I've never been through a pandemic. I've never run a business this way. But you have to remain calm, and you have to give off the belief that you do, even though inside you're probably a little bit anxious and scared. And I feel like that's a challenge we all face. This entire year specifically has been pivoting from what we always did into a business that looks very different than it did 6-7 months ago. So that's been a pretty big challenge for us. I think in my business, it's very easy to talk to people that are my peers. And that's important, to find mentors that are your same age or maybe in your same business. But my challenge is you need to also find somebody who's much older. They're at a different point and they've been through things you haven't. And then I find it really helpful for me to spend as much time as I can with younger people, because they're thinking completely different and challenging me in completely different ways than how I'm thinking. So one example I use is we didn't do mobile curbside orders 3 years ago at all. And now it makes up almost 48% of our business. And I really embraced it by talking with a lot of younger people that were showing me and telling me how we transact is going to change, and you guys better change with us. So, Scott I consider Scott to be a mentor. He's younger than me, but he's constantly thinking differently than I do. Most of our best ideas come from our high school kids. They're actually in the trenches every day, and so we go to them all the time and say, hey, what are you seeing that's a lack? How can we change it? And the majority of the good ideas came from people like Jordan. I think, AJ kind of mentioned, once you get food or a restaurant in your blood, it's kind of a disease and you really can't ever get cured. So I love the idea of what Chick-fil-A did. I love the company. I loved being part of a team that succeeded and knowing that I had a part in that. But I don't think I thought I would be an owner operator of a store until I realized while doing internships in law school that I just wasn't going to enjoy being an attorney. So I kind of had to go back to my parents and say, I don't want to be an attorney. I want to work in fast food, which is an interesting conversation to have. But I think I made the right decision. And, AJ's got a good point. Like last year, actually, we opened up in March. Me and two friends opened up a everything from scratch kitchen restaurant in Montverde called Black Bear Kitchen. And I think it is kind of part of being an entrepreneur is the ability to create. Everybody wants to create something. I don't play music or I can't sing very well. So this is how I create. And there's an excitement to it that I can't get anywhere else. Understanding the power of a team. And I think it took me a while to leave some of my micromanaging ways and being secure enough to hire people that are not as bright as me, but are even brighter. And then being really good at taking the advice and running with it. So I think I would have done that different. I would have embraced it earlier, but I haven't regretted doing what I do. If you're passionate about something, then get as much experience as possible directly in that industry, even if you have to work for free. I think school is wonderful. College is fantastic. I learned a ton, but I learned much, much more from actually being in restaurants than I did in school.
We hope you enjoyed this video. We want to thank our sponsors who made it possible, as well as our partnership with the Refugee Film School, who supported the editing of these short videos. If you're interested in being a future sponsor or instructor, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks.